fight like a roaring fight, crypto and dreams under stadium lights, sweat and fire, hearts ignite. Evening sports buffet, with the Ginch we play. Highlights, wild scores collide, it's a riot live tonight. Blades drawn, bold on the chalkboard slate, rivals clash, it's a heavyweight fate. Every second.
Yes, it is officially fall back time, obviously, on Saturday. So now it gets dark at friggin' 5 o'clock at night. Really wish they would do away with daylight savings time. It makes no sense. It blows. I understand why they did it years ago, but it makes no sense anymore. Just get rid of it. Just like hanging Christmas lights up at November 1st. There should be a law. I don't want to see pardon my French, I don't want to see fucking Christmas lights right now. November 3rd, for Christ's sake. Why don't we just end it? Let's get to Thanksgiving first. And then on Thanksgiving Day, if people want to put their Christmas decorations, that's great. I don't want to see that shit right now. It's early November. Welcome to another edition of Early Eating Sports Buffet with the Ginch. I am Fred Ginch. I was going to change the banner at the bottom, but tomorrow is Election Day. Get out and vote. So instead of changing the scrolling banner to Early Eating Sports Buffet with the Ginch, I just figured I would let that roll there as it is. Cole County Entertainment Network. I don't know why this little, can I change this icon? And let me on the stage. Anyhow, Cole County Entertainment Network. Lots to talk about on this really early evening edition. As my phone buzzes. Did you watch the games over the weekend? What stood out to you? What didn't stand out to you? Did you watch that Chicago-Cincinnati game? Can't make this shit up, man. You can't. I've watched so many sports over my 57 years on this earth that I've learned to say never, and also there's always something new that comes up. And the ending to that game was something like I had never seen. I probably maybe did see it in years past. I just don't remember seeing shit like that. But it was an interesting weekend, to say the least. Trade deadline in the NFL is looming. Some teams have made moves. I don't know if it makes these teams exponentially better. Congratulations to the Los Angeles Dodgers for winning back-to-back World Series. The Blue Jays had their chances. They were up 3-2. And in the back of my mind, I knew. I said the Dodgers in 6. It was the Dodgers in 7. Just in the back of my mind, when the Blue Jays went up 3-2, I just said to myself, I'm waiting. I'm waiting for the Dodger train to start rolling. And look, Blue Jays had him. The Blue Jays had him in Game 7, and bottom of the 9th, bases loaded, 1 out. Could have bunted. Could have tried to take your best bunter that you have and see if he can lay down a bunt down the first base line or the third base line, because they probably weren't going to be expecting it. But what do I know? I'm just a fan. But congratulations to the Dodgers. Mr. Yamamoto was named World Series MVP. Also, if you watched the NASCAR race yesterday, and I have my thoughts on it, Denny Hamlin dominated the race with about 4 laps left. I think William Byron blew a tire. Tire pressure issues were plenty all day long. It shouldn't have come down to that. Denny Hamlin's literally 40 seconds away from winning his title that he has never won. And this is what gripes my ass when you watch said sports. Denny Hamlin's crew, the crew chief, had no reason to bring him down pit lane. Nobody had anything for him all day long, even on old tires. Let everybody else come in and take 2 tires. You're 2 laps away. I would have been like, Denny, stay out, go get it, go win it, and that would have been the end of it. Instead, a bunch of teams took 2 tires. There's a 2-tire stop. They decided to put 4 on his. I know what he said after the race. He thought 4 tires was the right call. He's being politically correct. That was asinine to bring him down pit road. If there's 10 laps left, yes, you take 4 tires. But not with 2. You shouldn't have should have left him out there. Nobody had anything for him all day long. And even the teams that took 2 tires, they weren't going to catch him. Not in 2 laps, they weren't going to catch him. So Kyle Larson wins his second title in 5 years. He is the third driver to win multiple championships with Hendrick Motorsports. And by the way, that's 15 titles in 30 years for Hendrick Motorsports. Clearly the dominant organization over the last 30 years. So, congratulations to him. Some news and notes. Excuse me if I'm rubbing my eyes, my allergies. Even though we had some frost, the weather's getting cooler, and I never had allergies when I was younger. It's only now that I'm getting older that all this shit has come about. Do you suffer from the allergies during the wintertime? I know I do. News and notes from around the world of sports. The Atlanta Braves have hired Walt Weiss as their manager to replace Brian Snitker. He has been the bench coach for the Braves since 2018. He's 70 years old, by the way. No terms of the deal from what I'm seeing, but the Braves have their next coach. The Washington Commanders, Jane Daniels dislocated his elbow. He is out indefinitely. Dan Quinn came out and said that he left Jayden Daniels in too long. Do you think? No shit, Sherlock. You're getting blown out. What the hell is he doing in there anyway? No reason for him to be in the game that late when you're getting blown out. It was a horseshit performance by the Commanders. There was no good that was going to come out. None. And now you're minus your starting quarterback probably for the rest of the year. Hopefully that won't be the case. Anybody who watches the replay of the injury, yeah, he's probably going to be out for the rest of the year. Did you watch the Bengals when they lost yesterday? Chase Brown. If it's not imploding now, it's really not imploding. Chase Brown took a shot at his defense yesterday. And Zach Taylor took exception to it. I'm surprised Zach Taylor has a job, to be quite honest with you. I don't think his message resonates anymore. Your defense is atrocious. Yes, your offense can put up points, but you've made no corrections, and we're halfway through the season. I'm sure Trey Hendrickson will want out. He'll probably ask for a trade. But even if Joe Burrow comes walking through that door and he's healthy, your defense sucks. I picked the Bengals to go to the Super Bowl. That was predicated on Joe Burrow being there the whole year. But the Bengals are going to have to score 50 points a game. That's not going to happen for them to win. If you missed what Chase Brown said, here's what he said, quote unquote. Now that the offense is stepping up, we got to play complimentary football. We put the ball in the end zone and go up a point at the end. Finish the effing game. Just end it like that's it. That's what we need to do. Just end the effing game. Make them give us the ball back. Let us effing go to 22 victory and let's end the game. That's how I feel. So now you want to keep that shit in house, but maybe sometimes if you've got your teammates calling your ass out, maybe it'll make a difference. Maybe the message will resonate. I don't know. But the Bengals, I have every confidence in the world about their offense, but their defense blows. Like just not just blows, it blows goats. That's how bad they are. They stink. They're horrible. Joe Alt for the Chargers, he will have season-ending ankle surgery, a huge loss for the Chargers going forward. Not good, even though the Chargers won over the weekend. Spurs, Dylan Harper, he has a calf strain. He is expected out weeks. An MRI today revealed the strain. It just says weeks. What that means, I don't know. Could be 2 weeks, could be 8 weeks, could be 10 weeks. Who the hell knows? But they're going to cover their ass by saying he's out weeks. Alabama has suspended Dre Kirkpatrick Jr. indefinitely after he was arrested over the weekend. He was arrested 3 counts of reckless endangerment and 1 count of attempting to elude and speeding. He was released from Tuscaloosa County Jail on a $1,500 bond. Kalen DeBoer came out and said, unfortunately, with the information I have at this time, I talked to Dre and we need to indefinitely suspend him. He understands that there are consequences that come with his action. So hopefully he gets that turned around. You hate to see stuff like that. And the Dodgers had the parade today. Wahoo, woohoo. The Minions rejoice. So let's go to the NFL. Well, I'm not going to go over statistics and stuff like that. I'll save that for tomorrow. But let's jump to the NFL and what we witnessed over the weekend. From what I saw, anyway, this is just my personal opinion. It started with the Ravens and the Dolphins on Thursday night. The Ravens won 28-6. The notes that I have jotted down for said games are just what was my observation. The Dolphins stink. They couldn't run the football. Ravens outrushed them, by the way. And the Dolphins just could never get anything going. I don't know why Mike McDaniel still has a job. They came out and said that he will remain the coach for the rest of the season. Okay. It's a slow death. They're 2-7. They're going to have to be 10-7 to sniff a wild card. You think they're going to win 8 games in a row? Hell no. They're not winning 8 games in a row. Ravens are 3-5. Jackson back. I think he threw 4 touchdown passes. So I'm not going to get overly excited because it's the Dolphins. Again, if you watch the Bears-Bengals game, Bears had it. Bengals scored late. Onside kick recovered by the Bengals. Bengals score. They go up. You think the game's over? Nah. The NFL should not be called the National Football League. It should be called the No Fundamentals League. Because the fundamentals across the board in sports are an abomination. It's putrid. It sucks. It stinks. It's horrible. I don't know what other adjectives I can throw out. Not just in pro football, but it's across the board in sports. Fundamentals are a thing of the past when it comes to sports. Football, nobody wants to tackle and wrap up. Everybody leaves with the shoulder. They don't turn your head, square up, boom, wrap, tackle. You don't see that shit. Nobody in Major League Baseball can bunt. Basketball, there's no defense. I don't even think guys know how to play defense in the NBA anymore. But yes, the Bengals blew it in the end. Hence the Bears with the 47-42 victory. The Bears are 5-3. The Bengals now 3-6. Although they're still only 2 games out of first. Vikings held on to beat the Lions. Oh, by the way, the Bears won the rushing battle, I believe. Vikings held on to beat the Lions in a crucial NFC North showdown. 27-24. Vikings needed that. J.J. McCarthy, upon return, played well. But again, I believe the Vikings won. Let me just double check. 10 out of the 11 games played so far. 10 out of the 11 winners won the rushing battle, by the way. Yes, the Vikings won the rushing battle. I'm just telling you. You take care of the football, you win the rushing battle, you're going to win the football game. Vikings 4-4. The Lions now 5-3. Again, wasn't sold on the Lions coming into the season. Not at all. And the surprise of the day, the Panthers beat the Packers 16-13. Packers and at home yet. Packers really couldn't muster up much offense at all. But again, the Panthers won the rushing battle. Panthers they're a scrappy team. After I think they were 1-3 to start the season, they're now won 4 out of the last 5. Scrappy team to be reckoned with going down the stretch. They're sitting at 5-4. Packers 5-2-1. Depends what Panthers team shows up, though. To be quite honest with you, the Chargers beat the Titans 27-20. Probably closer than what Chargers fans would have wanted. But again, Chargers won the rushing battle. Joe Alt, a huge loss for the Chargers. But again, the Chargers formula: run the damn football, don't turn it over, play solid defense, win the game. Chargers are 6-3. Titans are 1-8. Shining up those golf clubs. Patriots held on to beat the Falcons 24-23. 24-10 or 24-7 at one point. Drake May again having a solid season in his second year. Patriots, ladies and gentlemen, sitting at 7-2. I knew the Patriots would be improved. I just think the Patriots would be improved this much. And again, we still have half the season to play, but It's not looking that they're going to slow down. Falcons, on the other hand, that vaunted defense, not so vaunted the last 2-3 weeks. Patriots are 7-2. The Falcons are 3-5. 49ers beat the Giants. A lot of people were on the Giants because the Giants were at home. San Francisco pulled away a little bit in the second half. But again, I'll beat the dead horse. 49ers won the rushing game. And it was actually a big win for the 49ers. They needed to get back on track. The 49ers 6-3. The Giants are now 2-7. I picked the Steelers to beat the Colts. And the Steelers did win. Defense showed up, played well. Offense was consistent. What else did I write down here? The Steelers held Jonathan Taylor to 45 yards. Defense sacked Daniel Jones 5 times, which helped. Steelers ran the ball 23 times for 38 yards, which is pungent. That really, really needs to improve for Pittsburgh going forward. But look, they played solid D. And it didn't help the Colts that Danny Dimes threw, 3 picks, and he fumbled it twice. 5 turnovers, which he reverted back to the Danny Dimes that we all know and love. Colts are still 7-2. The Steelers now sit at 5-3. The Broncos outlasted the Texans. I actually picked the Texans to win this game. Thought at home with the defense, but both offenses struggled. Broncos can beat you any which way right now. And again, the Broncos won the rushing battle. And I'll say this, and I'll say it, and I'll say it, and I'll say it. As much as it's a passing league, if you don't turn it over and you can sustain drives by running the football, more often than not, you're going to game. Broncos 7-2. Texans right now, a bit of a disappointment this year. They're sitting at 3-5. Final in overtime, the Jags beat the Raiders 30-29. A game which I didn't think anybody wanted to win. The Raiders were up 6-3 at the half. Looks like the Jags had it, then the Raiders came back, and then what are you going to do? Losing teams find different ways to lose. Hence the Raiders. Again, the Jags won the rushing battle. Geno Smith had a really good game. But nonetheless, the Jaguars found a way to do it. They're 5-3. The Raiders are 2-6. Probably shining up the golf clubs. The Rams beat down the lowly Saints 34-10. Game wasn't close. Some people might think it was, but it wasn't. Matthew Stafford had another solid game. He actually threw 4 touchdowns, but more importantly, no picks. The Rams dominated running. They dominated passing. The Saints they're not a good football team. And again, I'm thinking Kellen Moore might be saying, what the hell did I get myself into? Rams are 6-2, by the way. The Saints are 1-8. I still think the biggest threat to the Eagles right now is the Rams in the NFC. My Chiefs lost to the Bills. Go figure. They always lose to the Bills in the regular season. 28-21. Again, Chiefs. Look, I said the Chiefs weren't going to make the playoffs. I still stick to it. I wasn't going to get excited at the fact that they were 5-3. Bottom line for the Chiefs is if they can't run the football and you make them one dimensional in the passing game and the defenses don't respect your run, they're going to play zone, they're going to play the pass, and they're going to bring pressure. And that's exactly what happened yesterday. When you put pressure on Mahomes and he feels like he has to do too much, that's when they get in trouble. And the offensive line didn't adjust. They didn't adjust. The Chiefs aren't winning this division. They're not. I'm not a homer. I'm a realist. And they're not going to make the playoffs. Broncos are exponentially better. The Chargers are better. And just wait till Marion Hampton comes back. Chiefs are not winning this division unless they go out and they trade for a top-notch running back that can handle the workload. That's not going to happen. And again, the Seahawks beat the shit out of the Commanders 38-14. Commanders season slowly slipping away. Now, you get your quarterback killed. Dislocated elbow. It was just bad. It was 31-7 at the half. And, I think the Commanders, the Seahawks put out the gas a little bit. Sam Darnold looked good. Commanders actually won the rushing battle, but, Washington, you lose. I mean, they couldn't do anything. It was just big plays. Seahawks are 6-2. Commanders are 3-6. I didn't think the Commanders would be 3-6, but I sure as hell didn't think the Seahawks would be 6-2. This is a decent football team, and I was wrong on that end. So if we go to the NFL standings, right now in your American Football Conference in the AFC East, the Patriots sit on top at 7-2. Bills are second at 6-2. Dolphins, Jets, doesn't matter anyway. Forget it. AFC North, the Steelers are 5-3. The Ravens are 3-5. Bengals are 3-6. The Browns are 2-6. Still anybody's ball game. The AFC South, Colts are 7-2. The Jaguars are 5-3. Texans are 3-5, and the Titans, well, thanks for participating in this year's NFL season. AFC West, the Broncos are 7-2, the Chargers 6-3, the Chiefs are 5-4, and the Raiders are checking out at 2-6. NFC East, obviously the Eagles to lose at 6-2. Cowboys are 3-4-1 in second. Commanders 3-6, and the Giants are 2-7. NFC North. Packers still sit on top at 5-2-1. The Detroit Lions are 5-3, as are the Bears, and the Vikings are 4-4 with that big win over the Lions. NFC South, Buccaneers are 6-2. The Panthers are 5-4 in second. The Falcons are 3-5 in third, and the Saints, well, thanks for participating, but you won't get a trophy for participation. Not on this show. NFC West, the Seahawks and the Rams are both 6-2. The 49ers are 6-3. And the Cardinals, well, they play the Cowboys tonight, so who knows? They might get a W. So there you have it there. Let's jump to the association, the NBA. Let's go to the standings, even though I know it's early in the season. Your Eastern Conference, the 76ers and Bulls sit on top with 5-1 record. Bucks and Pistons 3-4 with 4-2 records. Cavaliers 5th, 4-3. The Heat, Knicks are 6-7 at 3-3. Raptors 8th at 3-4. Hawks are 3-4. Magic 3-4. The Celtics are 3-4. The Hornets are 3-4. Pacers Wizards 1-5, and the Brooklyn Nets have yet to win a game. Out there in your Western Conference, Oklahoma City Thunder looked like the team to beat again early on. They are 7-0. Spurs are second, 5-1. Lakers are third at 5-2. The Trailblazers are fourth, 4-2. Clippers, Nuggets, Rockets 3-2. Golden State Warriors are 4-3. Timberwolves are 3-3. Grizzlies, Suns 3-4. Kings, Jazz, Mavericks 2-4, and the Pelicans have yet to win a game. Scores from yesterday. Thunder beat the Pelicans 137-106. Excuse me. For the Pelicans, Zion Williamson had 20 points. Jordan Poole added 24. He also, what am I looking at here? Yeah, he added 24. When we go to the Oklahoma City Thunder, Shea did his thing, 30 points. Isaiah Hartenstein, 10 rebounds. Isaiah Joe, 13 points coming off the bench. 76ers beat the Nets 129-105. 76ers, Kelly Oubre Jr., 29 points, led the way. Tyrese Maxey, 26 points. Joel Embiid didn't play. Go figure. For the Brooklyn Nets, the leading scorer was Cam Thomas. Michael Porter Jr. added 14 rebounds. The Hornets beat the Jazz 126-103. For the Jazz, Lauri Markkanen, 29 points, led the way. For the Hornets, Miles Bridges, 29 points, led your Charlotte Hornets. Cavaliers beat the Hawks 117-109. Leading scorer for the Hawks was Jalen Johnson, 23 points. He also added 13 rebounds. Kristaps Porzingis chipped in with 12 rebounds. And for your Cleveland Cavaliers, Donovan Mitchell with 37 points led the way as 5 players for the Cavs were in double figures. Raptors beat the Grizz 117-106. Of course, John Morant is not happy in Memphis. For the Memphis Grizzlies, the leading scorer was Jaren Jackson Jr. with 20 points. For the Raptors, Brandon Ingram and R.J. Barrett, 26 and 27 points, respectively. Scotty Barnes added 12 rebounds for the Raptors. Knicks beat the Bulls 128-106. And in the Bulls, their first loss. For the Bulls, 7 players in double figures. Josh Giddey was the leading scorer, 23 points. Nikola Vucevic added 14 rebounds. Josh Giddey with a triple-double, 23 points, 11 rebounds, 12 assists. And for the Knicks, your leading scorer was Jalen Brunson with 31. Karl Anthony Towns, double-double. He had 20 points and 15 rebounds. Suns beat the Spurs 130-108. For the Spurs, your leading scorer was Stephen Castle with 26 points. For the Suns, Devin Booker, 28 points, was your leader there. Lakers beat the Heat 130 to 120. For the Heat, leading scorer was uh, Jaime Jaquez Jr. off the bench with 31 points. For the Lakers, your leading scorer was Luka Doncic. He had a triple double, 29 points, 11 rebounds, 10 assists. In the association tonight, on this wonderful Monday evening, Timberwolves are at the Nets, the Bucks are at the Pacers, the Jazz are at the Celtics, Wizards at the Knicks, the Mavericks at the Rockets, the Pistons at the Grizz, Kings at the Nuggets, Lakers at the Trailblazers, and the Heat are at the Clippers. Jump to the NHL, shall we? Let's go over the standings. In the Eastern Conference, in the Atlantic Division, Montreal sits on top with 18 points, along with the Red Wings, both on top with 18 points. And then you have a logjam. Lightning, Senators, Bruins all with 14 points. Panthers, Maple Leafs, and the Sabres, 13 points apiece. Metropolitan, the Devils and the Penguins sit on top with 18 points. Hurricanes, Blue Jackets, Rangers each with 14, and the Islanders, Capitals, and Flyers each with 13 points. Out there in the Western Conference in the Central, the Colorado Avalanche sit on top with 19 points, and second is the Jets with 18 points. The Mammoth, early on, third with 16 points. The Stars are fourth, 15 points. The Blackhawks, fifth, 13 points. The Predators are sixth with 12 points. The Wild, seventh with 11 points. And the Blues, bringing up the rear, only 8 points. Out in the Pacific, the Mighty Ducks, the Golden Knights, and the Edmonton Oilers all tied with 15 points apiece. Kraken and the Kings with 4 apiece, the Kraken and the Kings with 14 points apiece. Canucks with 12 points. Sharks with 11 points, and the Flames, who are not good, 8 points. Scores from yesterday in your National Hockey League. Lightning beat the Mammoth 4-2. Islanders over the Blue Jackets 3-2. The Flames, a rare win over the Flyers 2-1. Ducks over the Devils 4-1. And the Red Wings over the Sharks 3-2. Light slate tonight for hockey. Penguins at the Maple Leafs, the Oilers are at the Blues, the Canucks at the Predators, and the Blackhawks are at the Kraken. Go to the English Premier League, shall we? Again, I would try to cover every European soccer league, but if I did, I'd be here till the end of the month. Let's go to the table after this week's games. Arsenal right now sit on top with 25 points. Man City is second with 19 points. Liverpool, Sunderland, third and fourth, respectively, with 18 points. Then you have Tottenham, Chelsea, and Man United, sixth, seventh, and eighth, each with 17 points. In ninth is Crystal Palace with 16 points. Then you have Brighton and Aston Villa, respectively, with 15 points, sitting at 10 and 11. Brentford is 12th with 13 points. Newcastle United and Everton, 13th and 14th with 12 points. Fulham and Leeds, 11 points apiece, 15th and 16th. Burnley is 17th with 10 points. And right now in the relegation zone, West Ham, Nottingham Forest, and Wolverhampton. Your scores over the weekend. I believe it all started on Saturday. That would be correcto. Brighton beat Leeds 3-0. Arsenal beat Burnley 2-0. Crystal beat Brentford 2-0. Fulham over Wolverhampton 2-0. Nottingham Forest and Man United 2-2 draw. Chelsea in a London derby over Tottenham 1-0. And Liverpool beat Villa 2-0. Then on Sunday, that would have been yesterday, by the way. West Ham beat Newcastle 3-1, and Man City over Bournemouth 3-1. A game today, Sunderland and Everton drew 1-1 apiece. Hugh Freeze was fired by Auburn as their head coach. Mike Loxley there in Maryland, he was also relieved of his duties. I was going to do student body right tonight, but I think I'm going to switch it up because I don't want to interfere with Monday Night Football. And now Monday nights are going to be for Maction and stuff like that. So I think what I'm going to do is I think I might just do student body right on Tuesday nights from now on, or Wednesday nights, either or. And I usually like to wait till the NFL action gets done to do end zone to end zone. So I'm going to do end zone to end zone tomorrow. Keep that then. And then Wednesday, I'm going to start doing student body right on Wednesdays. Do I? Well, the first college football playoff rankings will come out tomorrow. I don't know what the committee is going to do. I don't care because it's all going to change in the next 5 weeks anyway. And then you have to wait till championship games are done and shit. And again, I'm not going to go over the AP or coaches poll. I just think it's bullshit. I think it's redundant. It makes no sense. It just changes week to week anyway. And anybody who watches this show knows that I just think the AP and the coaches poll in any college sports, get rid of them. They just don't have their place anymore. I will, however, go over top 25 scores from this weekend, what I observed over week 10. It all started last Friday on Halloween. Memphis beat Rice 38-14. It wasn't close. It was 31-7 at the half. You expected Memphis to win. Memphis has a real shot being the first group. I don't even remember how to say it anymore. The first non-Power 4 school to make the playoff. I think they can win in the American. They have a tough game this weekend coming up against Temple, but I think they should win that one. But Memphis wins 38-14. Number 23 USC beat Nebraska 21-17. A lot of people are on Nebraska just because Nebraska, it's cold. And USC wasn't going to. USC's defense showed up. Nebraska really couldn't muster up much. Neither could USC. In the past, USC would have lost this game in the last couple of years, but they win, and they're 6-2, and they're 4-1 in the Big Ten. Nebraska's 6-3 overall, 3-3 in the Big Ten. Big 12 showdown. Shame on you, number 22 Houston, for losing to West Virginia at home yet. 45-35. For Houston, defense didn't show up. I think they read their press clippings. I think they thought West Virginia, 3-5 coming in our house, it will win, and it bit them in the ass. Houston had a decent shot at doing some damage in the Big 12. Not so much anymore right now, is the way it stands. West Virginia's 3-6 overall. They're 1-5 in the Big 12. Houston 7-2 overall, but they dropped to 4-2 in the Big 12. Michigan beat Purdue. Number 21 Michigan at the time. It's nothing to brag about, Michigan. Purdue is 2-6. You're at home. You're a decent favorite, and you only win 21-16. Bryce Underwood sucked. He was horrible. But look, Michigan still won the game. Michigan 7-2 overall, 5-1 in the Big Ten. Purdue, unfortunately, 2-7 overall, 0-6 in the Big Ten. Number 24, Utah beat number 17, Cincinnati, and it wasn't close. They beat the hell out of them. Utah showed up in a big way. Utah 7-2 overall, 4-2 in the Big 12. Cincinnati 7-2 overall, and they dropped to 5-1 in the Big 12. ACC clash, number 16 Louisville, who has a real good shot at winning the ACC. They beat Virginia Tech 28-16. Virginia Tech was up at the half. Louisville's defense clamped down in the second half. Louisville's now 7-1 overall. They're 4-1 in the ACC. Virginia Tech 3-6 overall, 2-3 in the ACC. Don't look now, ladies and gentlemen, but number 15 Virginia, they are on top of the ACC, and I'm sure we all saw that coming. They travel across the country and beat Cal 31-21. Yes, Virginia. Virginia's 8-1. 5-0 in the ACC. Cal is 5-4, 2-3 in the ACC. Yes, we all saw Virginia being on top of the ACC right before the season started, didn't we? Final, number 18 Oklahoma outlasted number 14 Tennessee, 33-27. There are some grumblings down there in Tennessee that Josh Heupel could be on his way out. I mean, they're not going to make the playoff, obviously. That seems, I have never seen as many coaches get canned this early in the college football season. But again, Oklahoma outlasted them. Oklahoma 7-2 overall, 3-2 in the SEC. Tennessee is 6-3, 3-3 in the SEC. Number 13 Texas Tech beat Kansas State 43-20. Texas Tech with still a real good shot at winning the Big 12. Texas Tech's defense is for real. Texas Tech is 8-1 overall, 5-1 in the Big 12. Kansas State, who I said would win the Big 12, by the way, a season to forget, 4-5 overall, 3-3 in the Big 12. Number 12 Notre Dame beat Boston College 25-10. It was kind of a lackluster performance. Just again, you always have to guard against Notre Dame playing well, going on the road, Boston College. They're still young men playing football. And sometimes you have to guard, we can just show up and we'll win. And they did. Notre Dame 6-2 overall. Boston College is 1-8. Final in overtime, number 10 Miami loses to SMU 26-20. Again, over the last how many years, I've always said I need to see it out of Miami consistently throughout the year. They shit the bed again. Not saying their playoff chances are done, but they're going to have to win out. SMU is 6-3 overall, 4-1 in the ACC. SMU is now a player in the ACC. Miami 6-2 overall, 2-2 in the ACC. Number 20 Texas beat number 9 Vanderbilt. Texas had a comfortable lead, and then they took their foot off the gas and they fucked around. Let Vanderbilt back in the game. Let Vanderbilt, it was 34. It was 34-13. I'm sorry, it was 34-10. And then Texas had to hold on to win. Not what you want to see. Nonetheless, Texas with the win. 7-2 overall, 4-1 in the SEC. Vanderbilt 7-2 overall, 3-2 in the SEC. Vandy is probably going to have to win their last 3 games to sniff an SEC title. And the shocker for me of the weekend, NC State just handed it to number ate Georgia Tech at the time, 48-36. Georgia Tech did not look good. As decent as they've looked all year, maybe it just caught up with them. I don't know. But a signature win for NC State this year, sitting at 5-4. If they can win the remaining 3, 8-4, make a decent bowl game, and look, Georgia Tech slips a little bit here. NC State's 5-4 overall, 2-3 in the ACC. Georgia Tech 8-1, 5-1 in the ACC, but it's still all out in front of Georgia Tech for the taking. Number 7, Ole Miss took care of South Carolina 30-14, keeping their SEC title hopes alive. 17-7 at the half. Ole Miss's defense kind of took over in the second half. It was all she wrote. Ole Miss 8-1, 5-1 in the SEC. South Carolina's 3-4, 1-6 in the SEC. My Florida Gators with a valiant effort against number 5 Georgia. But again, losing teams find ways to lose. Florida 3-5, 2-3 in the SEC. Georgia 7-1, 5-1 in the SEC, keeping their title hopes alive. Florida, just to sniff a bowl, they're going to have to go 3-1 the rest of the way. Yep. Number 2, Indiana over Maryland, 55-10. Wasn't close. I fully expect Indiana to be ranked number 1 in the college football playoff tomorrow. I expect Ohio State to maybe be 2 or Texas A&M be 2. Notre Dame's Indiana's 9-0, 6-0 in the Big Ten. Maryland is 4-4, 1-4 in the Big Ten. With Indiana's remaining games, I don't think they're going to lose. Number 1, Ohio State over Penn State, 38-14. Ohio State's defense took over in the second half. It wasn't close. Ohio State, 8-0 overall, 5-0 in the Big Ten. Penn State now, 5 straight losses, 3-5 over in the Big Ten. Again, I think what I'm going to do is tomorrow I will do early eating the sports buffet with the Ginch, and then end zone to end zone. And then on Wednesday, I will do early eating sports buffet with the Ginch, and then I will do student body right. As I say at the end of every show, practice compassion, practice empathy, have passion for what you do. Hug somebody every once in a while. You might make their day. Tell somebody you love them. You might not get a second opportunity. And for God's sakes, if you see somebody struggling in any sort of fashion, ask questions. What can you do to help? Can you get them help? You might not just be saving a life. You might be saving multiple lives. So, with all that being said, there's only one thing left to do. Andy Don, take me out.
Turn out the lights, the party's over. They say that all good things must end. Call it a night, the party's over. And tomorrow and next year starts the same old thing again.